We're just moments away from Peloton's IPO pricing. Let's get to Dom Chu in the newsroom for more on what to expect. Dom.
Waiting with bated breath, almost like I've been on a Peloton bike myself, guys. So here's what we do know so far. We've got 40 million shares being sold by the company in Class A shares. They've got a dual class share structure. The current announced range right now, $26 to $29 per share. There's an underwriter option to sell an additional 6 million shares, so call that 43 million shares. If they sell all of those, they're looking to raise just about $1.2 to $1.3 billion. That could value the company at between, say, $7.7 and $8.3 billion, depending on how many shares are sold, what that price is at the midpoint, and then how many shares they actually have outstanding, given the fully diluted or non-fully diluted. Basically, it depends on how you calculate it. There are a lot of assumptions that go into it. Now, remember, this is another company with growing revenues. Yes, a lot of growing revenues, but they also have accelerating losses as well. Peloton is reporting about $915 million in revenues in the fiscal year that ended just in June. That's 110% higher versus the same time last year. But now losses are running at $245 million. That's 5 times what we saw in 2018. So what it comes down to is this is one of the most highly anticipated IPOs out there, as our own Julia Borson has been reporting, Melissa and gang, the first of the 2019 CNBC Disruptor 50 class to go public. So a lot of anticipation for this big exercise bike and technology company, guys. We'll bring you the latest as soon as we know the pricing here. Melissa, I'll send things back over to you.
Thank you very much, Dom Chu. Dom Chu, who is back at headquarters.
HQ.
Waiting for the news to cross. And as it crosses, he will bring it to us live.
He almost works as hard as you do. It's a hard-working man.
Thank you, Dom.
You got it, guys.
Peloton set to start trading tomorrow during a week where the hottest IPOs have crashed, even Beyond Meat going cold, tumbling double digits in that time. So can Peloton survive the IPO carnage? Do you get the Peloton business model?
Okay. Well, I love Peloton.
As do I. Two separate questions.
All the time. I have more than one. I have a hard time with the income statement, though. I have a hard time with the expenses. And, they talk about the total addressable market. I don't know I'm not as optimistic on the total addressable market, right? It's an expensive machine to buy. It's an expensive machine to subscribe to. Obviously, that's a good part of their business. I think the treadmill maybe hasn't been, I don't know. I'm not clear if the treadmill is really
was as popular as the bike.
Was as popular as the bike. I love the product. I probably would not own the stock around this range.
Guy, you're also a Peloton user. And
I'm going to give a shout out. Dennis is my guy. Hannah Marie, Jen Sherman.
Really?
Love them all.
Oh, yeah.
And I get on that
I like
thing.
Allie Love.
Yeah?
Yes. Some of those classes are ridiculous.
Alex Toussaint, he's great.
But to your point, it's a $2,000 bike, a $5,000 treadmill. You pay $50 a month. You have to ask yourself, what is the addressable market?
$50 a month.
In some ways, the addressable market is everybody on the planet. We all should be in shape, right? But it ain't.
Not
going to happen. Yeah, it ain't going to happen. So I'm somewhat skeptical. With that said, the NASDAQ continues to do well on the listing front. I think they will be here tomorrow.
Nice.
I think the way you play this is NDAQ, and I've said that for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're getting to a point in this cycle where we're starting to see a lot of these companies come public that don't actually have public comps. They're kind of, like Beyond Meat, you just mentioned that one before, and people don't know how to do. So you have the scarcity value on something that sounds like a great idea. No one really knows how to value it versus comparables, so they can go ballistic. I suspect this one does well with investors because every one of us on this desk owns them. We know the product, right? It's kind of like the old Peter Lynch sort of thing,
Right.
You feel it. And
only 511,000 know the product, right? I mean, when you look at the numbers, the numbers don't add up. And the biggest problem I have is how are they going to make money? They're losing 5 times more money now than they were in 2018. That's a huge issue to me. This feels like Uber. It feels like Lyft.
You have to spend to grow, Pete. That's
you
the
absolutely
argument, right?
do. But when they try to tell us they're a media company and not an exercise company, that tells me a lot about the company.
We have an important disclosure to make here. CNBC parent company Comcast, NBC Universal, is an investor in Peloton.